Hello everyone, and welcome to Eating Plant-Based Around the World with OC Public Libraries. Today I'm going to show you how to make the popular Latin American dish, ceviche. Originating in Peru around 500 to 2,000 years ago, the dish combines elements of Latin American, Spanish, and Middle Eastern cuisine. All right, empecemos. Let's get started. So first thing you want to do is bring a pot of water to boil. Once it's boiling, go ahead and turn it off, and you're going to submerge the cauliflower for 5 minutes. Now, the key is to make sure that the cauliflower is completely submerged. You're just going to leave it alone. A good tip is to flip the cauliflower over if a part of the cauliflower is peeking. That way, the whole cauliflower gets cooked evenly. All right, so while that's cooking, let me go through the rest of the ingredients. So you're going to want 2 to 3 serranos. Go ahead and keep the white membrane inside if you want to add an extra little kick to it. You're going to want a cup of purple onion, a cup of diced or chunked portobello mushrooms. You're going to want a cup and a half of diced tomato, a cup and a half of diced cucumber with or without the skins. I'm leaving the skins on today. About 6 to 8 sprigs of cilantro. You're going to coarsely chop it. A ton of limes, because you're going to need about 1.5 to 2 cups of lime juice, fresh lime juice. And then about half a cup of seaweed. Now, if you have a food processor, you can pulse it in there a few times. If not, you could just coarsely chop it or just tear it apart with your hands. And an avocado to dice it, and about 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt. So after 5 minutes, you're gonna wanna take out the cauliflower, drain out the rest of the water. Then you're going to slice the cauliflower in about 1/2-inch slices. Move this out of the way. It's going to naturally start to break apart, which is great. And then the bigger chunks you can actually cut into smaller chunks. They don't have to be uniform, just relatively the same size. As you're cutting, you can use the stem or not. It is a different texture than the rest of the cauliflower, which is fine. Some people don't like it. I like it. I like to include it to just add a little variation in the texture. So make sure that the florets aren't too crumbly. If they are, you might have overcooked the cauliflower a little bit, which is fine. And these bigger chunks, just keep chopping them until they're roughly the same size. So now that the cauliflower is all nice and cooked, we're gonna add the rest of the veggies that are gonna marinate. So you're gonna wanna add the cup of the portobello mushrooms. And then this ingredient, this magic ingredient, which is the nori seaweed, this will give it that very sea-like fishy flavor. If you have a food processor, you can just put it in there and pulse it a few times to get some nice, like furikake type chips. If not, you can just crumple it up with your hands. You crumple it up. You crumple it up until you get flakes. Some of them are going to be bigger than the others because you're using your hands, and your hands might get a little oily because of the oils on the seaweed, but that's fine. Next, you're going to want about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of fresh squeezed lime juice. So once you got all the cauliflower bits and mushroom chunks and seaweed in the bowl, you're going to want to add the lime juice. And a little bit of sea salt to taste. Okay, now you're gonna mix it well, get everything covered in lime juice. Once it's nice and combined, you're gonna wanna set it in the fridge and let it marinate for 30 minutes. So once the cauliflower's been in the fridge for about 30-ish minutes, you're gonna add the rest of the ingredients. I'm gonna add the onion. Cucumber. Serrano. Tomato. And you're going to want to add about 6 to 8 sprigs of cilantro. I include the stems, you don't have to. Coarsely chopped. Now you're going to give it a good mix. You got to make sure to get the lime juice over everything. You're going to add some salt to taste. Give it another good mix. And top it off with some avocado. And now you have cauliflower ceviche. Buen provecho!